So what's going on with you and the Ranger fans? Because I'm here in New York. I see you on Twitter. I don't. You could say whatever you want. I don't care. I'm not going to be offended. Like, is it specifically Ranger fans? You have an issue with New Yorkers? What's going on here, Biz?
No. So I can go back to where this year I kind of stirred it up, and I like stirring it up with fan bases if I think that they're out of line in some regards. Like I got it with Sabres fans about the Eichel situation, right. And I think that we can all admit that any New York fan base, just maybe from living in New York, is a little bit more wound up and intense than other fan bases, to the point where maybe they'll sucker somebody outside of a building for wearing the opposing team's jersey. I
can't sanction that one.
Well, it happened in the Lightning series. I don't know if you saw the clip.
Of course I saw the clip.
It's something that I would imagine happens at like Dodgers games, at Yankees games. R.A. Rear Admiral, one of our host of Spittin Chiclets, he said that he went to a Boston Red Sox games at Yankee Stadium, and he was told by his buddy, hey, if you're sitting in certain sections, I probably wouldn't be wearing Boston gear. You're not saying that for every fan base. So they're a little bit more wound up than normal fan bases. So on one of the broadcasts, and you'll get this for most fan base, if you don't stroke off their fan base on the broadcast, because they're used to watching their home network all the time, right, you're anti their team. Like, I care who wins the Stanley Cup other than a few teams that I'm rooting for. Like, I have no say in this. So I mentioned how they were on one of the broadcasts, how I'm like, hey, they kind of play a little bit of a riverboat gambler style of game where they could score some goals by playing like that, but they sure do let their goaltender out to dry, which is proved by the eye test and analytics. That's why Shesterkin is up for the Hart and more than likely will win the Vezina. And oh man, did they come out? Oh yeah, bragging on the like oh, what do you know? You don't watch the Rangers. Look at this graph chart. Blah 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 blah. And a couple that had 15, 20,000 on Twitter, and then you see the reaction they're getting, and all these other people piling on. I'm saying, You're gonna freaking get sensitive about me saying that I would be weary about playoff time when you're playing against better teams. So then I said, okay, let's kick it up. So I started calling them scumbags, which some of them are. Some of their fans are complete scumbags, including the guy who knocked the guy out outside the stadium because he had a Tampa Bay Lightning's jersey on, and then he wore his Rangers t-shirt to the court appearance. By the way,
I'm not surprised by that.
Not surprised. And just calling them fugazis because they got completely outplayed against Pittsburgh. Eye test and analytics once again, and relied on goal. And they beat a third string goalie in the Penguins. So I just kept piling on, calling them the fugazis, and they went nuts. And that's kind of how the whole thing played out. And then they lost in the conference finals, and I couldn't be happier about it.
But let me ask you this. When the Rangers went up 2-0 on the Lightning, were you soiling yourself a little bit? I said, I'm like, oh my goodness, this might be a team of destiny. And no, they're not fugazis. They're definitely not fugazis. Their fans are still scumbags. But I commend this young group to go far beyond expectations in a year where I thought they were probably going to lose. I thought they were going to lose first round for sure. Then I thought Carolina was going to beat them, but they made it to the conference finals. And hey, all the credit to those players. Adam Fox is a stud. They got Shesterkin. They're going to be a good team for many years to come, and that fan base is going to be a thorn in my side. But I am looking forward to going toe to toe with them. I like reminding them that I think they have one cup in the last 86 years, and they needed half of those championship Edmonton Oilers to get the job done with Mark Messier and crew. And they can kiss my ass. We need to get you in the middle of Madison Square Garden.
I'll make a bet next year where if they end up winning the Stanley Cup, I'll let Rangers fans egg me in the middle of Times Square. I'll let you throw the first egg, Jim.
I'm not. Let a Ranger fan do it. I don't want to egg you, but I'll be there to watch and cover it. That's for sure.
You're what? Devils fan?
I don't really have a hockey team. The only team I really root for anymore my entire life is the Yankees. As I've gotten older, teams have peeled off.
Can we make you an honorary Coyotes fan in the hockey world?
Sure.
Can I make you care about the Coyotes?
Care might be a little strong. You know what it is? Let me ask you this. Do you follow other sports closely? I know the NFL you do, because I know you're a big Packers fan.
Yeah,
I know you watch NFL.
I think it's hard to ignore the NFL.
I don't know how people can like die hard follow 4, 5, 6 sports. Like, how do you have all this time in the world? I don't understand. Like, especially like the NBA and the NHL and Major League Baseball are very time consuming. It's every night.